What up, fam? Welcome back, guys, to the channel, my channel, your channel, our channel. It's like a bit of a busy one. Yeah, it is, guys, I'm not gonna lie. It's warm, it's breezy, it's sunny, it's summery, but it's also humid. And I flipping hate the humidity. As I have mentioned many times on this channel, give me 40 degrees of arid North African heat over 30 degrees in London any day. Oh yeah. Now we've reached the middle of the week. Yours truly is busy gate crashing so many tourist pictures, unintentionally of course, my dears. I'm far too civilized to do it with malice. Now, what have we got here? Gosh, I haven't seen that many flags since Trooping the Colour. In fact, I don't even recognise all of them. What have we got? EU at the top, Ukraine, the Union flag. God knows what the other one is under that. I have no idea what the penguin flag is. Is that actually a flag? Is that maybe Greenland's flag? There's Mr. Bray. Quick question. The flag with the penguins. What's the flag with the penguins? Is it an actual flag or?
No, not really. It's a reference. I don't know if you remember when the tariffs were brought in. One island that was affected by tariffs and whose name was being affected by. Basically, has a population of penguins. An awful lot of people took the piss out of that.
But where is this?
It's somewhere in the Antarctic, somewhere.
Faroe Islands or somewhere sort of super obscure.
Not Faroe, because Faroe Islands has a population, you know, it's not South Georgia. I can't remember what it was, but it's a little obscure place that basically just gets used as a sort of like landing point for things in here and there, and I think it's got emergency shelters and all that sort of thing. It's not really inhabited. It's inhabitants, such as they are penguins. But it did get
that explains
on the great list of things that were subject to tariff. That island got mentioned, so it's just ripping the piss out of that.
Are you waiting for the PM today? I'm not sure if is there PMQs? No PMQs today.
No, he's over in the Netherlands, and last week he was over in Canada. We do this. There will be a PMQs, but it will be held by deputies.
Okay.
As a consequence of that, it's only when it's the Prime Minister that there is the great sweep up in the cavalcade.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't do it for the deputies.
For the underlings.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for the heads up though with the non-flag flag. See you. Okay, folks, that was interesting. First time I had a civilized chat with the Pro-E lot.
Back then.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, excuse me. It's always just standing there. It's like, I kind of, I want to actually obviously cross over, but they're not happy. Steve doesn't want to talk to me anymore after the interview where I asked him if he thought it was right to respect the democratic wishes of the British people. If one of you can remember which video that is, I'd be much obliged. I'd love to cut that out because that was an absolute classic. Because, I mean, the interview went... Sorry. Walk into the camera. The interview went well. It only lasted about 10 seconds. But he was caught unawares by moi and looked like a bit of a belle, in all honesty. What is this flipping graduation day photos or whatever? Look at them all. What the goodness gracious me is going on here? What on earth? It's flipping packed, mate. What's the it's 11:30, bros, and actually no, I won't say the other one, but yeah, bros and folks. It's 11:30. Damn it, I've got a stone in my shoe, and annoyingly enough, that stone was there on Monday. But these are my filming shoes, and like an idiot, I didn't actually bother to shake the stone out. Oh, somebody's heading into the TARDIS. The TARDIS boxes actually are those little supposed police phone booths. There's a blue one in Earl's Court, in fact. I'm not sure if there are others or where they're located. But notice the lady in the background is like, whew, it's hot, people. I can see ladies having fans and stuff today. It's a stonker, humidity-wise. I think we're up in the 90s. Very unpleasant, to be fair. Flipping hell. I mean, how many pictures does one person want? She wasn't even like that enthusiastic about her own pictures. You know, at least crack a smile, no? One would think. Look, like these two. Hello, hi, I'm happy. Right. So we're at a flaggy world. There they are. The penguin flag has gone rather limp, folks. Yeah. Okay, so heading onwards. Who are we going to spot next in today's video, I wonder? Well, somewhat annoyingly, on Monday, even after I'd finished and left, when I was coming this way, I was speaking to the police about whether they thought it was like a bit of an issue with Palestine action. In other words, is it going to kick off? And they were like, nah, nothing's happened. There's only like 200 of them or whatever. Anyway, later that afternoon, there were dozens of arrests in Trafalgar Square. It really did kick off big time. So in future, I'm not going to listen. I'm just going to use my instinct and head up to whatever it is that's going on. Not since BLM have I been like kind of full pelt in the middle of a riot, and it was quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Exhilarating. That's the word I'm looking for. It was exhilarating. Not necessarily in a positive way, but my goodness me, did the adrenaline run. However, ladies and gents, it wasn't quite that bad on Monday, apparently. It was kind of moderately bad. But a few people actually tried to give the police a slap, and then there were quite a number of arrests. They just shut it down pretty fast. People like grabbing the high-vis jackets of the officers and so on. It was pretty wild, to be fair. If you haven't seen the footage, there's quite a lot of it across some of the mainstream British media. Yeah, it's rare that things kind of get to fisticuffs in Central. But hey, I mean, would have been my luck. Somebody would have probably slapped me anyway, so maybe I didn't really miss much. Plus, it's always a bit of a toss-up, you know, head to the action and potentially miss the deadline for publishing that day's video, whilst risking what could transpire to be absolutely nothing in terms of, you know, something interesting in additional footage. So we are back with the original band of gunners. Oh, hold on. I think the police, look. The tourists are asking if these two fine-looking officers will stop for a picture. Look at this. That is kind of cute, I must say. Guys, does that happen in your country, wherever you are in the world? Do random people, just stop the police and say, "Hey, can I have a picture with you?" Does that happen? Oh, flipping on, everyone wants to do it. Like, I don't know, for example, I've never really noticed if that happens in France or, you know, Spain or anywhere for that matter. US, I mean, I'd like to know very much. I cannot imagine gendarmes being super friendly in Paris. The majority of them don't speak any English in my experience. Not quite as bad with the Police Nationale, but yeah, a few times I've had issues with needing to try and get through a police cordon to be somewhere. For example, in December when I was in Paris for New Year, I always stay in a hotel that's very close to the Elysee Palace, and the annoying thing is that area is completely sealed by the police. Despite showing them the hotel reservation, calling the hotel, putting the hotel receptionist on the phone to them, they're still like, "No, you can't come through." It's like, what? How are we supposed to check in? Anyway, luckily, by some remarkable good fortune, the concierge bellboy from Le Bristol had come out to help some rich people to get in. And I sort of said to him, "Look, you know, we're trying to get in as well, can you help?" And he spoke to the police, and God knows what he said, but yeah, we were let in. I was panicking, to be fair, because it was about 9 o'clock at night and we only had a couple of hours to have dinner and get to the Champs-Élysées for the New Year's Eve fireworks. But yeah, the police in France, I think either they do speak English, but they absolutely don't want to, out of principle, or they genuinely don't, and it's like, if you don't speak French, get lost.
You can go around the corner to the building.
But then again, how many officers in London, Met officers that is, speak Spanish or French or any other language? Same principle, really. So I guess it's the same thing. I'm just not looking at it in the right perspective. Right, who's back? Now, bear in mind, whoever we see now will be in the boxes for not very long. That was 11:30. Bell up at Parliament Square, which means the next bell will be noon, which means we'll have a changeover in circa 20 to 25 minutes. Lady Gunner at this end, and it's looking to me as though it's a Lady Gunner at the other end. Yes, it is. So 2 lady gunners, my darlings. One here, and the one behind me. Quite an active looking yard today, folks. The light is superlative. I mean, that even doesn't look real, no? It's one of those days where the sun is just deciding to illuminate the stonework. And my oh my, does that look beautiful or what? Oh yes it does. Oopsie. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze in. Here we are. Boom. Okay, a friend of mine's got an umbrella, they just opened it. Yeah, it's going to be a hard one, folks, this hour or so. I've got full sunlight here, a little bit earlier than usual, and it's bloody boiling already. Gunner looks super chill. She's just like, what are you talking about? Bring on 40 degrees, I can deal with it. She's not red-faced at all. Horse looks pretty chill too. We saw this lady gunner when we were here. Actually, wait, how did we see this? Oh yeah, of course we did, because they literally just swapped over. So this is the return of the weekend's gunners. In other words, those that arrived on Friday and were here until Monday morning have now re-arrived, as it were. In other words, those that arrived on Monday morning have already finished and headed off. Bro, I know you want to touch the horse. Now, I'm hoping, really hoping actually, that today we will see some new faces that we haven't seen very much of. Now, when I said there are 2 groups, Group A and Group B of gunners, I don't know if there are enough gunners in... Oh! Just gave him a little nudge. That was pretty sweet, to be fair. He's like, right, you've got your picture, get lost. Fair enough. Yeah, so I'm not sure how many gunners there are in each of the 2 groups. In other words, are there enough to rotate every other week? Does that make sense? Like, are there only the number that is needed for a kingsguard, or are there more? They've got some spares in case 1 or 2 get, I don't know, whatever. Let's say they're unavailable. But we did briefly, very briefly, catch 2 gent gunners, in fact the only ones we've seen since the weekend, on Monday morning before they left. I'm hoping that they have come back this morning and that we'll see them after the changeover. No offence, but we've seen a hell of a lot of lady gunners. It'd be good to see a bit of a mixture. I'm also hoping that the very fine-looking Denzel Washington Jr. gunner might be making a return. You'll all remember him from last summer. Wow, was he popular or what? So 20 minutes, give or take. I'm genuinely surprised that the yard is so active already. A lot of people, in a very good way. Bodes well for what we might get to see. Just wait, look at this guy. Best dressed toys is this dude here. I mean, he's looking pretty fly. If I swung that way, I'd be asking for his number, I tell you. Without a doubt. Oh, I thought that was Spamdullah for a second. This guy in the Queen Anne. They got lovely pictures, these 2, and now they're off to celebrate. Incidentally, guys, yours truly will be trying his very best to capture the entire Pride Parade this year. Yes. Oh, hold on. Where are these 2 Chinese tourists going? Are they coming through the box? Is little Miss Banana Trousers going to walk behind the horse? One thing I did notice, actually, weird as it might sound, when I was editing some of the thumbnails for the last few days of videos, is that the uniform for the gunners, ladies and gents, actually matches the panic button. Funny, no? Ironic. I mean, it matches actually the entire box, because the uniform is red, black, and golden. And what colours are the box? Which colours do we see in the box? Red, black, and golden. Yes. Complementary. Now, despite there being so many people kind of milling about, the vast majority are not coming to the front. But I am expecting, guys, a proper deluge of people. When? the palace lot start to arrive, which will be pretty much after this changeover. I'm reluctant to move because I've got a great spot, but at the same time, I'm reluctant to stand in the great spot if there's no one coming forward. A few times she's been trying to talk to the gunner and not really getting a response. So either she's being really rude to her nan, or she doesn't know this lady. Who's now given up and made an abrupt turn. Feels very kind of like hyper touristy this morning. I would wager that pretty much every single person we're seeing is someone on holiday. In other words, there are no locals here. However, most schools and universities will be completely done this Friday, folks. Yeah, which means that we will very, very quickly start to see masses of British visitors and tourists, who I will obviously try my very best to speak with. I don't get why all of these people are here. I mean, look at them all. Bro has never seen a horse or a gunner, it would appear. Yeah, of all of these people, not one of them. Oh, hold on. Not one of them at the moment. Actually, whilst people leaving their coffee cups on the ground, whilst the lady's getting pictures with her kid, we'll pop to this end for a couple of minutes. Now, we have already seen this gunner, only very briefly. We have seen her. She did appear in the first ever video this year when the gunners came back. Yeah. So I guess it doesn't hurt for the sake of completeness. At least there are some people this end. However, I will probably be at the other end for the changeover itself, simply because that is where the flood is going to arrive after we're done. Oh, what is this? Different military personnel. Oh, hold on, spammers are running off after them as usual. It's almost comical here these days. The second something even remotely in their pea-sized minds interesting happens, they run after it. It's just like, hello, film what happens in front of you, as opposed to chasing content. That's the key, guys, to community building. Let's hope that some of the tourists get a little bit more happy with standing next to the horse. In fact, I recognise this horse as well from day one. That massive fat blaze, it's kind of like a King's Troop version of Zorba, aren't you? He's like, what do you mean, my cousin Zorba? Yes, cousin Zorba. Damn, how long can you hold a fake smile? One has to Juanda. Wait, is that? Hold on. She doesn't spend much time around a horse. Bicycle man just turned up, bro. That's it. Are you wary of the line?
So these are the King's Troop horseguards. There's 3 mountains.
I don't know how you do it in this weather, I tell you. I mean, just filming and moving around a little bit when it's this humid is less than easy, shall we say. But I mean, you're on your feet, what, half the day? What time do you start? Flipping out, so it already feels like night time for you. Busy though with groups, yeah? This is exactly the problem, isn't it? You wake up, look out the window, think, oh, you know what, it's not that hot today. Only when you're outside walking around you suddenly realise, oh damn it, I've overdressed. So yeah, curse of the British summer for sure. But things good though, yeah, generally?
Yeah, not too bad.
I notice a lot, or unless they've either retired or moved on, a hell of a lot of the major well-known faces are not bringing their groups anymore. I guess because there's nothing in the yard.
I think what's happening, they're getting more and more creating the companies that split between groups.
Ah, okay, that would make sense, to be fair.
Because I'm independent, I get my own people. So one of the girls the other day, and she's like, yeah, there's only needs to next day she had like 7. She's like, no, that's fine.
It makes sense, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of the faces that I saw last year are not, at least yet, they haven't turned up with their groups. So I'm thinking that they possibly skipped this in the itinerary, or as you mentioned, they're being split into subgroups. Because to be honest,
I don't really see the tour bus, the rest of them. Like one Rosen who does I think she's currently in the States doing Group 66 tour. She went to New Zealand, she's doing that.
Nice.
Like Saga, like the over 60s people, for like 10 days around.
That's probably pretty sweet. And really, what, chasing bison?
Yeah, they literally, she's got a video of her, the bison going across the coach at the stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
She is cute. Her husband used to do it, he's now
The very familiar face, the ex-army officer who used to be here, I can't remember his name, used to talk to him a lot. Haven't seen him once. Still on the route. Haven't seen him unless he's skipping horse guards.
Rotation things. The normal officers we see. There's one down there that I'll see almost every day.
Yeah.
Rough Irish.
Theo I see here every day. There's still a couple of others. But I do think a lot of skipping, because it's not easy to turn up with a group here at the front with so many people already crowded. You know, unlike in the yard where you've always got a quiet spot. So at least things are pretty good here. Yeah. It's going to be the same as last year. Busier or quieter than last year? Busier. Okay. Make while the sun is shining, eh? Have a good one. Yep. Okay, folks. Good to know that times are buoyant and healthy. That's a tour guide I've known for about 2 years. He's a proper gent, an independent, secures all of his own customers, clients, whatever you want to call it. And most importantly of all, he is a thoroughly knowledgeable and lovely fellow. Yep, massively so. Now, hello tourists, where are you? I just don't understand what's been changed somewhat. I'm also very keen to know whether or not this particular gunner is responsive.
You just wait for somebody to step into the box. With them things, huh? I see this on YouTube every day.
It's a funny thing, you know. You've got a point, and a lot of people do, because they're waiting for, you know, the kind of classic moment. But I talk in my videos and try and explain what's happening, and more of it is actually about commenting on what the tourists are wearing, because sometimes you get some very funny outfits and stuff. You know, because there's a very easy way to do this with kind of light-hearted humour, British humour. You know, yes, it's a little bit of pee taking, but don't we all do that at some point?
That's Irish do it all the time.
Yeah, yes, I was going to say you. Wait, you're Irish? No, come on, with that accent, you're joking. Hey, have a good one, yeah. Nice gent. Okay, folks. Yeah, I mean, he was cruising for a bruising. I think he was a little bit angry that there are a few people filming, as in fact I get. But you know, I explained to him that yes, there are of course people filming, but it's not fair to lump everybody together because everyone here is not the same. There are a lot of good people that film here, as there are a lot of idiots that also film here. So there you have it. Hey, morning. I don't understand why there are so many tourists here, but hardly any now bother to go near the forts. Notice that? It was the same on Monday. Super odd.
You know, this country can decline the news.
Oh. I think the best way to keep things good and healthy is to talk in the videos. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I understand that, but firstly, they couldn't settle the board.
It's a difficult one because it very much depends on who is going to be up next. We know this, who's going to be in the boxes next. I'm hoping it's going to be one or two of the guys that were briefly here on Monday morning, because I hardly got any male gunner footage at all over the weekend. But then again, I don't really care because I'm on holiday next week anyway, so...
I think people see the same thing all the time. The other one is the kingsguard going through, and people say...
Yeah. Yep. I'm not even sure actually how long they're here for. Somebody told me 3 weeks, somebody told me that they're only here for 16 days, so I don't know. Guess we'll have to find out.
16 days, 3 weeks, all the same.
Well, I mean 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm not sure. It'd be nice to actually know the departure date. That way we've got an idea of when the big boys are back with the big horses. Okay, folks, we've got some tourists coming forward, and I am keeping an eye on the clock so that I know when to run into the. I was going to say into the yard. I'm not going to run into the yard. Run to the other end
It's been over there.
Yep. I am filming, by the way, just so that you know.
Korean Memorial Remembrance Service over there.
That was what the NATO and other soldiers, I think. There was a NATO chap and a few others came out the gate a little while ago. But a lot of people over there, or?
Yeah, there you go.
There's always something interesting around here. If it's not this side of the road, it's the other side.
There, yeah, I don't stay here too long. I go and sit in the park. But I found the last postcode, so they had a memorial service over there.
Okay, good catch. See you later. Yeah? Okay, Colin's happy and healthy, which is the most important thing, folks. And today's visitors seem to be, on the whole, exceedingly polite and well behaved, are they not? I say seem to be, doesn't mean they are, but they seem to be. Now, I cannot understand the chap on the bike who sat on his bike for his picture. Very strange thing to do, but hey, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Reminds me, I have to get to Ireland sometime soon, folks. The city walks on Ireland. Perhaps I'd even managed to get out without coming to any harm. Okay, today's best dressed. That is a lovely dress, very bright and colourful in the sunshine. As I mentioned, I think in Monday's video, ambulance. It's remarkable how some people just choose an outfit, go outside, and end up smashing it. Whereas for others, it's a complete and utter disaster. I'm not talking about this girl here, but I mean, generally, we see some people here that, what can I say, miss the mark. Yeah, let's put it that way. Smile, babe. Wait, hold on a second. I don't even know you. I am absolutely flipping, dripping, people. It's that sticky and humid here this morning. It's super unpleasant. What is going on? This is not boding well for the weekend. We're going to be hitting again. At least it'll be my last weekend in London for a little while. We'll be hitting again the low 30s, folks. Friday, Saturday. Not even worth thinking about, is it really? Not worth contemplating. Now the yard is Chocky McWog. Look at this. Have a very, very. I'm not going to go in because they're shortly going to start telling everybody to choose the front or the yard. Look at that. It's a very, very, very healthy crowd for the changeover, in fact. Exceptionally. Meanwhile, the horse decided to go for a little bit of a walk. I think he's missing me. That's the problem. Yep. This tourist is busy getting his pictures and not caring less about the stress horse behind him, who could possibly trample him. No idea what set the horse off. There was nothing obvious, no visual anomalies at the front, and there were no loud noises. I don't know, maybe he saw someone he didn't like in the crowd. Anyway, but he settled down quick. The gent that's just kind of standing there like, oh, like, horse, can you spin around a little bit more for my picture, kind of thing. Very, very, very odd how some tourists respond to a stressed and potentially exceedingly dangerous horse. Okay, so we're back at this end and we are bang smack in the centre, my darlings. Oh, a sitting picture. It's been a while since we've seen one of these.
Stand on the white line. Here, I'll take a picture. Go outside. Don't cross the white line. Don't cross the white line.
It's actually getting really active here, folks, on both sides. So once the yard empties out to the front here, and now possible regular Chinese cohort turn up. Yeah, it's definitely our favourite cohort. So I think that'll be the probably the last group picture before they decide to tell everybody to start moving back. Notice the gent who was taking the picture to my right had already warned them, his family, that there is a white line and not to go over it. I can also see on the ground, on the right, just inside the box, more slices of apple. I wonder, this horse is looking so chilled. He's like, yep, somebody bought me an apple. Yep, he's been stuffed with Granny Smith apples, folks.
Not in the box.
Oh, look at that. A teacher that actually just said not in the box. I wouldn't have believed such an individual existed, guys, unless I've been here to hear it myself. We know that the vast... And no, it's okay. We know that the vast majority of teachers couldn't give two hits about the box. However, this is a British school group from, I don't know where, it doesn't really matter. It's a flipping big group. And they're fully aware of the rules. How's he about that then? Who's this gen? Putting one of his hands into a little bag. If that were in the US, well, all the teachers, they're guiding their students. Okay, massive shout out to Smith's Wood Something Academy. Brilliant teachers, marshalling all the students and making sure they don't upset the guard. Brilliant. What the hell is this bro trying to ask her? I don't even understand. Oh my god, there's a flipping massive wasp just flew past my head. I have waspophobia, everybody. Oh my god, here we go again, look. All walking one way, now they're all going back another way. Bro. Oh, that didn't take long, did it? Okay, so he was told to get outside the white line. Meanwhile, here are reinforcements. Briefly. So we know full well, but then again we already saw, speaking up in a previous video, that this gunner does not hesitate in telling people to move. The gent we just saw in his ATP camos is a gunner too, and he's just told this massive, and I mean massive, you can see them all in the yard through the box there, massive group, several hundred people just turned up in one go, and now the yard is, I'm not going to say, it's just mind-bogglingly squishy. Here he is. Top man.
Same as you, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, peasants, listen to the man and get back. That's more like it. Is it not, folks? Oh, is he going to tell these three to get behind the bollards? Flipping hell. It's about to happen. We've got the police just leaving. We've got some cycle club that just decided to turn up. Some other cyclists going into the yard. Oh my good lord. Oh, and folks, the superstar, and I do mean that in every serious iteration, the superstar gunner who took no nonsense, a jogger running in. It's chaos. The superstar gunner from Sunday is back, and guess what? He's going to come into this box. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good... What the fuck? Look at this. They do with the dog just marching through the yard. They need more bodies, folks. They need like more MOD or something. Someone else is about to exit the yard. People just walking around in the yard. Look. What a flipping mess. So many people just strolling wherever they feel like. Okay, so these two are done, they're off. And look who's back. However, I do think he's on a different horse, is he not, folks? I don't remember this exceedingly unique blaze. Horse at the other end is not a happy boy for them. Look. People are still exiting, even though we're underway. The orderlies helping to settle the horse down. The gent who's not behind the bollards is the very same gent who decided that he would just stand there when the horse had a meltdown and get his picture. It's always one or two super and solo tourists that just couldn't care less and do their own thing. Quelle surprise, eh, folks? Right, now that everybody can go forward, here's our first lucky punter, and the yard is about to empty. Possibly things get a little interesting. Possibly. I sort of am careful about saying it these days because this is a summer. I was going to say like no other, but I mean I've only been filming here since the summer of 23. But I mean this is very different to last year and year one. I can tell you that. But we know that he will not take any nonsense or people getting into the box.
Did you see the carriage come in this morning?
I've only been here for 30 minutes.
Yeah, they had a carriage from the Royal Mews coming in, parked the carriage out, and there's one that's out the back still.
Where is it? Near the museum or further
On
over?
that side.
Over
Just out there it was. It was promoting the tickets for the band for the concert. It should be, it was still there. Well, they had the horses, they brought the horses and they put it in. So they took the horses away and they left the carriage there.
For beating retreat, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
They're out there now. I think it was there earlier, but I don't know if it still is. I'll go and have a look.
Thank you. That's interesting, folks. You see, I don't often venture to the back these days, but it's something of a pity because, as we just heard from Colin, there are very interesting things occasionally to be spotted. I mean, a coach from the Royal Mews, pulled by royal horses. I don't think we've actually come across that at the back of Horse Guards, that I remember. Right, the number of people exiting is completely mad. I'm not exaggerating. Look at it. Let's keep an eye on what's going on now.
Come on.
I'd love to speak to some people that have arrived here from places where it's 30 to 40 degrees at home, and I guarantee you they'll tell us that it's hotter here.
Stand clear for white line. Stand clear. White line.
Yes, the white line, bro. There we have it, folks. I mean, we knew it was coming, but... Oh, guess who's just turned up? Our regular friendly group from China are here on the left. And we've got a model taking pictures on the right. If we even get a foot on it's the same regular Chinese group. The problem is some bro decided to stand right in front of us. Yep, thank you for that, chap. He's going to get a picture in a minute, so it's all good. We've actually got two separate groups of Chinese that have just turned up. We've got the usual group on the left, and we can tell that from the hearing devices and the red lanyards, and another group who was sort of waiting patiently on the right, so it's a bit of a mix. However, everyone that's already here heard and saw that shout, so I'm going to be genuinely shocked if any of these are stupid enough to go over the line. They're definitely going to get an hollocking if they do. I'll try my best. I keep turning to the left because there are so many in that group. I'll try to get both sides at once. Bro. 3 times. I'm going to lose it now, like the trooper, like the gunner. Let's hope he gets shouted at now after that. Alas, not. Sorry, mate, I think the Aussies. Okay. In fact, this, I didn't realise it so much before, but yeah, this kind of also has a bit of a growl, like the growling lifeguard. Good solid voice. Like kind of don't arc with me voice. Love it. In all honesty, folks. Oh, here they come. Get ready for it. Oh my good lord. And the usual response, the laugh. I mean, I know that the laugh is not meant out of malice. It's a nervous response that most of us would make to getting shouted at, but flipping hell. Well, I mean, that was pretty obvious. I mean, we knew it was going to happen before it happened, let's be honest, folks, didn't we? It was virtually guaranteed. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they had a little word to each other about, hey, which one of us will sacrifice ourselves and get shouted at. I mean, there's no way you can not realise, especially if they just saw it happen. There were 2 shouts prior to this lady getting shouted at. At least this time she's being normal. Oh, goodness me, folks. I mean, at least we're in kind of pole position, so to speak. Now, I did mention, only somewhat in jest, that it would be a great idea to promote this fellow to the rank of captain, or even better still, make him head of the King's troop. Imagine if every single person in HCAV and the King's troop had this level of discipline with stupid tourists. There wouldn't be any more stupid tourists, would there? Simple as that. Oh, there's the postman. We'll get a picture of there in a minute, because as I said, this is not only a beautiful horse, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen this one before. Interestingly enough, I've got a couple of other new names. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but another King's Troop horse name in the console section, gaming and console. We've had, you remember, like Zelda and Nintendo. One of the horses that was here at the beginning of the week is named Luigi. Folks, yeah, they've actually got a horse in the King's Troop by the name of Luigi. Okay, I think we've got a pretty decent picture there. Other horse, who I will have a look at in a minute.
It's still there.
It's still there?
Yeah.
Thanks, Colin. Okay, folks, well, at some point, I will have a wander if the coach is still there. Let's see. I was kind of expecting that we'd have tons of people turning up from the palace, but oddly enough, yet again, we haven't. How strange is that? Extremely strange is how strange that is. So we'll have a look at the other end in a minute. And it's interesting because the 2 horses today are very, very, very different. They both got very prominent blazes, but the other horse is like a dark, glorious mahogany colour, whereas this horse, as you can see, I mean, I don't want to say it because it's probably due to the polarisation of my glasses, but he's a beautiful sort of sandy bay colour. This one. In fact, real beautiful sandy colour. Like one of the best looking horses we've seen actually in the King's Troop. He's a real beauty, isn't he? Not only that, look at the interesting markings on his legs. It's sort of like black bits. Oh, and again there's another one. Yeah, stand clear of the white line for goodness sake. Okay, let's hope that sailor girl here on the left. See, a lot of people wearing those kind of sailor themed or midshipman themed stripy t-shirts. They appear to be a bit of a hit this summer. Oh, a couple more police beauties. I say a couple more. Oh, 4 more. Whoa, one at the front in fact. Which was the first one through, guys? That was a real big, I think it's a new one. Or if it's not a new one, it's one we definitely didn't see for quite some time. Real beauty, that semi-cow looking brown and white horse. Oh, I'm actually genuinely hoping that nobody with a kid gets in the box, because this gunner will not hold back. The other horse is like, can I come with you to the stables?
Do you want a photo? You can send.
Do you mean hold you?
With Dad?
Decent queues building on both folks, I will say that. However, this gunner so far hasn't had to shout as much as he did on Sunday. Although, to be fair, the crowd's not like Sunday yet. So unless we get a few more in a minute, I will head to the other end. The only thing is, it will probably kick off this end the second I move. And 100% somebody else will stand where I'm standing when I do move. I need to bring with me like a police traffic cone and drop it for a few minutes when I move. To be honest, nobody will take any... Look at this clown in the yard, look, marching. See that? I'm not sure if we caught it. God knows what he's marching for, because there's no one in the yard. Luckily. I sometimes wish I had a brain small enough to think that that's funny, but alas, I don't. MOD officer doing her very best Airwolf impression today with the aviators. I'm still surprised actually that some of the officers here are happy to be on duty without eye protection, because god damn it folks, it's hard not to squint, I tell you. Hello tourists, where are you? Can somebody post popular tourist forums that, you know, Horse Guards is open for summer visits? Like, what on earth is going on? It's bizarre. I mean, how long am I going to stand here without a single tourist? I swear it's because everybody, and I mean everybody that comes here now, has seen before either a reel or a video on YouTube or something that looks bad, and this is why they're so keen to avoid getting on social media. And I understand it, to be honest, everybody, I really do. At the other end, the gunner just decided, see, would have been smart if I'd relied on instinct and moved. He decided to move his horse out, not quite in a charge, but this gent here in the blue polo shirt on the right was told to move, didn't, despite being with an organised tour guide, and was charged. Yes, he was, folks. I didn't mean his bank was debited. I mean that the horse, yeah, he was charged with the horse, who's not a happy horse. At all. I'm thinking, to be honest, it's probably because there are a hell of a lot of people at this end. Majority of them are not actually going forward. They're just sort of crowding and walking around to give you an idea of the numbers, because it's really busy. Look, there's almost nowhere for me to stand. As usual, folks, we will squash ourselves in. There we are. Ta-da! So that's the other horse. Like I said, folks, a massive, thick, Zorba-esque blaze. I bet now, though, that with this end, nobody will come forward, nobody at the other end. I think, to be honest, and I've noticed this before, on the really humid days, people are just not in the mood. That's why we've got a ton of people sitting down in the yard, in the corners. It makes sense. A massive British school group on my right just turned up. It's almost kind of like making hands together with each other across the box. I don't even know what's going on at this point. I honestly have no idea. Look at that. Doffed his hat. What a nice fella there. In his little mobile vehicle. Fantastic thing to see, to be honest. Now, this is the first time that we've actually been in front of this particular gunner, filming him on his mount this year. Now, it's a difficult thing to decide, because on the one hand, we know at the other end he's taking no nonsense. But at this end, we know he charges the horse, which is the same thing, taking no nonsense. So it's... I can take a picture, sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, folks, let's hope that I'm not going to take a picture of her as she's getting shouted at to get out of the box.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just about fitted, I think, the three of you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Now, strictly speaking, you can see that she's semi in the box. However, as I said before, some of the gunners prefer to wait for both feet to be firmly over the line. Yeah. Here we are. Look. Twice he told her. 3 times. 4. But she loves London, folks, and that's why possibly she deserves a pass. Oh yes. We've got a massive group that have basically just set up camp in the arches, by the way, in the yard. You see that group? Yeah, some of them were walking behind as well. What on earth is going on? It happens quite a lot now. I try not to bother, to be fair, because it's awkward. Yep.
I thought the guards were going to come behind, but we never do.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that they seem to just let anyone do whatever they want these days in the yard. Actually, it seems that most of this group love London. I think it's probably a Ukrainian group. Instinctively, I might have been Ukrainians. To be honest, he was very restrained with that lady, admiringly so, in all honesty. If that had been a chap, he definitely would have charged the horse, no doubt about it at all. So what a gem. Oh, Blondie's scared of the horse. She's Italian. If the horse moves, she's going to run. Oopsie! She's literally like Oh, goodness me. The ones that are absolutely petrified. I was supposed to say terrified, but it's even more extreme. They're petrified when the horse moves. Even if it just moves its head, they're like, ah! What I don't understand, folks, in all honesty, is why people are now always being allowed to sit in the archways. Very odd now. That will become a new typical thing, I guarantee. But as the yard is kind of becoming less relevant in terms of the soldiers' duties here. In other words, the yard, as it were, is not being guarded per se. odd as that might sound, I mean, clearly there are sentries here, and they're guarding the official entrance to Buckingham Palace. That's why I can't really understand why now it's been left as a free-for-all in the yard. However, I do think it will just be a summer thing, in all honesty. But yeah, there's a massive group there in and out of the archway taking pictures. They couldn't care less. I'm not saying anything because, one, it's not my business when there's no guard there, and secondly, there are 4 police officers on duty today. So why would I? Yeah, this beautiful horse is, I don't know, nervous? What do we think, guys? Shy, possibly. I don't get it, but he's not a happy boy, is he? We can see that. The other thing I noticed, which is bizarre, is that they've closed the boxes today. Why is that bizarre? As I mentioned, it's flipping boiling hot, so I've got no idea why they're closed. I'm going to move again because, as you can see, it's as busy as ever here. Okay, there is no shortage of people, visitors, tourists, locals, whatever. But as I mentioned before, it doesn't equate at all. Like, there's no correlation between visitor numbers and box numbers. In other words, those that are going forward for pictures. I don't get it, but I mean, look at it. It's absolutely chock all over the place. Almost kind of chaotic chocker, in all honesty. Now, the reason I'm moving back to this end, well, there are 2 reasons actually. One is that we're not a million miles away from the end. Mind-boggling as that even sounds when I say it, to be honest. But the good news, my darlings, is that yours truly will probably, in other words, it's higher than 50%, be here tomorrow, which for me is very rare. I'm very, 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 very infrequently here on a Thursday. There was only one very loud shout at this end whilst we were at the other end, and that was happening whilst the other gunner was telling that lady to move 4 times. Oh, horse is squeezing out some banana-flavoured milkshake, ready for the tourists. Damn, I don't remember the yard being actually this busy since last year. It's flipping chock-a-block with groups. Okay, so we've already had Tango Man, now we've got Tango Woman. Wait, that's interesting, a hat where the hair comes out of the top, isn't that kind of slightly self-defeating? In other words, I've actually never seen a hat like that before. And she's closed it with a huge paper fastener. What type of hat is that, ladies? It's not one I've ever seen before. I mean, either you're wearing a head covering of some kind or you're not. Built-in air-conditioned hat.
Anne çekilecek mi? Çık anneciğim. Yaklaş biraz şuraya.
I bet that a lot of the troopers have watched some of the videos that have been appearing from Horse Guards in the past few days and thought to themselves, God, I'm glad I'm on summer holidays. Hello. Yeah, don't worry about the 2 that are already behind you. What the flip? See the way they just kind of just walk over and stand in front of the people that were already there. Absolutely zero self-awareness. How did they know that they finished with their picture? Very odd note. The lack of civility and politeness is at times mind-boggling here. who's next. I've actually got no idea who's next. Oddly enough, this is the busier of the two ends, but as you can see, folks, there are very few people going super close to the boxes. Strange but true. I think even the gunner's disappointed. They probably spent the last 24 hours, you know, like gargling mouthwash and rehearsing, shouting at these idiots who do get into the boxes.
Okay.
It seems to me that actually the more people are arriving here and taking pictures of the architecture and the buildings at the front and elsewhere than the gunners, horses and anything military related. Massively so, to be quite honest. She's like trying to tell this lady to move out the way so that her daughter, but the lady's like, we were already here. You know, little Miss Fake Burberry can wait her turn, surely, no? Oh, goodness me. I must dig out actually. If any of you can remember which one it is, only a few days ago, but my memory's like mush. Which was the video when we had the American chap on the right here telling the tourists to get out of the way while he was having a picture with his family? Could one of you post a link to that video, please, in the comments under this video and or the title of that video? I did mean actually yesterday to pull that out, but I forgot. I really, really, really have a lot of admiration for tourists that do speak up to defend either themselves or other tourists that are being disrespected. Okay, we've got another. Actually, yes, there's another Chinese group just turned up. Not sure if that's good or bad at this this point. Here's the first one. The gun is hyper observant of the position of people's feet. Thankfully. Now, which belt is that? It's got to be the halfway through, surely. Yeah, it is. It's a 12:30 belt. Oh, I just thought this family were going to get shouted at. It's a big group, family shot. And the lady almost got pushed into the box. Actually, they've got this family, they've got their own private tour guide. This bro's got a CB radio, he was just talking on it. Look, strapped to his rucksack. A lot of people exiting the yard at this point, folks, I can tell you that, a hell of a lot. I think there might well be a kind of, it won't be a full part, it might be a little bit of an addendum to this video. We've got tons of people arriving and we've still got, give or take, 30 minutes of this gunner's shift remaining. I think I'd honestly like, especially other horses shy in the box at the other end, to capture the rest of this gunner's shift. It's actually pretty smart. I've just realised Penny just dropped the whole family. They've got the CB radios, I guess in case they get separated. That's really, really smart. Don't remember seeing that number before. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to communicate if you're worried about getting separated, even very briefly. Very smart, actually, thinking about it. And the guy's a nice guy. He said thanks to the gunner. Oh no. And a kid. Oops. They're all waiting. I mean, everyone's seen what just happened a couple of minutes ago.
Hey.
1, 2, 3. Everybody take a picture. That's actually a good way to inspire a smile, one would argue. Yeah, I mean, almost all of the windows in the building here are open above the yard, and I can see fans in some of the windows. It's very curious that one box has been closed, but as you can now see, one box is open. I don't know, maybe the other horse, the nervous horse, is happier with the doors closed. Again, tons of people still emerging from the yard. To be fair, actually, for a relatively quiet number of people getting pictures, the ratio between picture seekers and those that got shouted at was quite high. I counted, I think, 5 or 6, plus the one at the other end. Decent number, folks, in all honesty, for the numbers we've had in front of the camera. Actually, one other option might be to just let this roll over. I think actually I might make this a longer video. I can't decide. Difficult one. Actually, no, I'm not going to let it go longer. I'll make a small addendum. Because ultimately it might be longer for absolutely nothing at all. Whereas if I shoot the addendum, I can at least not publish it if it's not particularly active. I thought they're part of the same family. That lady got so close. The people just annoying each other pretty much. Have you ever seen so much lack of civility, folks, among a collective population of tourists as we tend to catch here on the busy summer guard change days? I don't think so, in all honesty. I really don't think so. But what I will do, going to finish this part 1 in a second, have a quick wander out to the back and see if we can spot that carriage Colin was on about. So I might well be back for part 2 shortly, folks. But for the moment, I'm out of here. Bye for now, guys.